Hey guys, pleasure to have all of you on board. It's a great pleasure to sit here with my business partner Max. We've been working many years together now alongside, and it's been a bumpy ride, but we also enjoyed a lot of success together as well. So as you all know, we will talk about Bitcoin, the journey that many of us are a part of, the journey that many of us is really looking forward to actually continuously also be part of. And let us go back and a little bit tell you guys how we got in contact with Bitcoin. And it goes way back to actually 2013 when we the first time actually heard about the heavy price increase that went from literally only a few dollars up to $1,200 within a very, very short period of time. So, you know, in the end of that year, the year of 2013, it hit its peak of $1,200 approximately, and then it crashed according to media. And I will also say that we together have had the privilege to travel to approximately at least 50 countries together for the last 2-3 years talking about Bitcoin. And what really strikes us every single time is that people's general opinion about Bitcoin is only based upon what mainstream media have taught people about what it is. It's only actually headlines. It's short, small articles written by a journalist that probably writes 150 different subjects every year as well, and somehow creates the sense that they are an expert of what they're writing about. But that's literally not the case. Unfortunately, me and Max got affected by these articles back then, because we had a guy that was very, very knowledgeable and really knew what he was doing, that actually came across me and Max and asked if we wanted to have a presentation of Bitcoin, if we wanted to know what Bitcoin was. We've discussed it just briefly because we just saw the articles. We didn't know what it was. I asked Max, he asked me, we didn't know. And we actually got this opportunity to get some kind of brief explanation from this David, his name was. And he was a IT security manager on IKEA, so he was very techy. And the day after we met at my Mac's dad's office, because Mac's dad is the most tech geeky person we know. So we figured it can be very good to have him along. And David came. He put together a PowerPoint. Actually, from that day to the other, he came the next day, and only put together this PowerPoint for our sake to teach us about Bitcoin. And he had some expectations that we maybe would like to invest in him and the idea he had. He started to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. And I personally see things quite logically. And for me, it sounded like the worst Nintendo 64 game I've ever heard about. It sounded like something I couldn't touch. It sounds like something in the air, and I couldn't grasp it at all. Max understood a little bit more because he grew up with a geek as a father, so he understood quite much. But Thomas, Max's dad, understood absolutely the most of all three of us. However, we got affected by mainstream media and what they said, because they said Bitcoin was too late, Bitcoin had crashed, Bitcoin will not become anything, but they also said there will probably come something else that is better and faster and whatever. And, you know, we listened to this. They also said mining is not profitable and all this kind of stuff. And to be honest, you know, if we would actually book another meeting with this David, and maybe a third meeting with this David, and maybe even a fourth meeting with this David, just to make sure that we get the right information, to actually get the knowledge and understanding about what it is, I'm more than sure actually that we would get involved. But the problem back then was nobody knew how to package and explain Bitcoin. And I think that's something we all can remember, because sometimes we learn something and we talk very technically about something, but don't actually forget how a new person actually intercepts something that we hear about the first time. So I think many of us can probably relate to that. So we got to talk about Bitcoin today, and maybe Max can actually start the presentation here. And for us, it have been an amazing journey, because 2 years ago, in the beginning of 2017, early, actually a little bit before New Year's Eve, actually towards that year, we we came across, actually no, we sat down and we said enough is enough. Now we really have to stop do whatever we do and put ourselves into Bitcoin, because we had a sense of feeling, we had a gut feeling that something is about to happen, and that was actually mainly based upon what mainstream media actually told us, because they started to switch their way of looking at things. They started to, you know, be a little bit more positive, a little bit more open-minded to what Bitcoin was, and it was very interesting to actually follow that. But we together, we just decided that let's go in. But we didn't know who to contact, we didn't know where to go, and we didn't know where to buy and actually who to ask. And so by coincidence, we met a guy at a small little birthday party. Actually, Max started to talk to this guy because he had some kind of high-tech phone that I've never heard about, but Max did. And he thought about actually buying this high-tech phone, and they started to talk, and this guy had a few hundred Bitcoins. So of course we got interested, because this was this was during our process of actually looking how to get involved in the Bitcoin industry in a good and safe and secure way. So this guy had a very, very bad English. I can say he was Spanish, and our Spanish was even worse than his English. So we had some communication problem. And the funny part was that a few weeks later, we would actually be in the same places, and we just decided, let's take a cup of coffee in a few weeks when we actually meet. So we did that, and we just realized that Max had way more tech experience than this guy had. He said he was part of one of the 10th biggest mining pools in the world, and Max started to blast him with techie questions. Because along these years since 2013, of course, both of us have started to learn a lot. In the techie way, I learned from Max, but I mean, and together we have formed the knowledge that we had, and we knew kind of what question to ask, at least enough to be able to know if it was real or not. And this guy couldn't answer these questions, so it actually ended up with us getting in contact with one of the founders of this Bitcoin mining operation. So that was extremely valuable for us. We actually spent 2 months' time to evaluate, to really make sure that this was a safe environment for us, because we looked at actually investing a lot of money. And I'm not talking about like $1,000 now, we're talking way more. So for us, it was very important that we felt safe, because we did find a few different exchanges, because we thought that was the only option for us to actually get involved in Bitcoin, to buy Bitcoins. So when this guy showed up and said he's part of one of the 10th biggest mining pools, of course we started to open up our mind that maybe we're missing something, because mainstream media told us it's not profitable. But of course, later on, we realized when we looked into the actual blockchain of Bitcoin, we could see, wow, we are missing something. So let me continue and actually go in with what is Bitcoin, because I think it can be a very good start, right? There we go. Bitcoin is the global digital transaction system available to everyone. And I think what makes many people actually a little bit maybe confused is that it's actually money and a payment system in one, but also technology in one. You know, it's a little bit confusing, because we're used to, maybe we have money and then we use a system, which is the bank. It's two different things, but this is connected into one. It's a decentralized peer-to-peer network, which means we leave out every third party, which makes it very interesting, because we don't have to ask for permission. We don't have to be discriminated. We don't have to take in consideration of sanctions or political agendas. All these is raised, and that alone is a major thing. And this is also the first ever alternative to the established banking system. And what makes Bitcoin extremely interesting, and this is also something that many people have very hard time to understand, I noticed. I myself, I didn't understand, why can't you create more Bitcoins if you feel like it? So there will only be a limited supply of 21 million Bitcoins. And I think most of us are used to being able, you know, if you look at the state governments around the world, they just produce more money every single day because they feel like it, because they want to stimulate the economy, but they're robbing us from our money. Bitcoin is so interesting because it's very easy for you and me to actually calculate what can the future value of one single Bitcoin be, because we know exactly what the supply is. We know that gold as well have a limited supply, absolutely, but we don't know how much. So, you know, it's super interesting because it's extremely easy to actually calculate on this. And it's not hard to realize with many of these aspects that this is a few of the main reasons why financial institutions, hedge funds, governments, combined with the most influential people in the world, are heavily investing in Bitcoin right now, the infrastructure of Bitcoin, and to actually get involved and actually sit on real Bitcoins, not physically though. So it's also the best performing asset in actually the last 10 years. And there is a bet on the table from a very famous hedge fund out there in the world. For a few months ago, they actually put $1 million on the table and we say Bitcoin gonna be the best performing asset class the upcoming 10 years as well. And guess what? All the smart experts out there that says Bitcoin is crap, nobody have bet against. So I would say, why not? If they are so sure that Bitcoin is not gonna actually produce the best performance, you know, the upcoming 10 years as well. I think that's really, really interesting. And it's also something that we really should take in mind. Look at this graph as well, guys. I mean, if you look at the first 10x, that was between 2013 to 2014. And then the next one, you know, we had between 2017 to 2018, you know, we're talking 10x, we're talking actually 2017, it was 20x. It was huge. But what we want to show with this picture is, if you look at the first one, when it went from a few dollars to $1,200, look at how small that one looks today. And I want you to try to visualize how small will the second one here be, the 2000 and 2018 one. How small will that be in a few years? So we will come to that actually soon. Because why should you pay attention? I mean, is it too late to get involved in Bitcoin? Well, many people out there believe it is, but they don't have any idea what they're talking about. And if we look at actually the people that doing researches in a professional manner, according to Cambridge University, there are about 2.9 to 5.8 million active Bitcoin users in the world today. We're talking active Bitcoin users in a daily and weekly manner here. And I mean, Cambridge University did this study over a year ago. So how many active Bitcoin users do you think it is today? This is also extremely interesting. Did you know that there was a value of $3.2 trillion in Bitcoin transaction being transacted between Bitcoin users in 2018? During the year when the Bitcoin price just went down, that is approximately, what is it? It's like 6 or 7 times more than PayPal. Put that into perspective, and PayPal have approximately 200 million users. So you can still be an early adopter when it comes to Bitcoin, and you can still be part of a huge growth potential. And many people believe it's the biggest wealth transfer in modern history. And also the wealthiest and most influential people in the world are involved. Look at the market caps here, guys, on the left side. I mean, we have Bitcoin here up there. It's like a small little dot. And this dot symbolizes 100 billion, which Bitcoin is actually less today. And if you look at the market cap of gold, do you know that if Bitcoin will actually surpass gold's market cap, you can easily calculate that one Bitcoin will have at least a price of $333,000 each. So keep that in mind. Could be a good thing to remember. But this is one of my absolute favorite slides because I love to, I say like this, you don't have to listen to me, you don't have to listen to Max, you don't have to listen to anyone on this webinar that maybe put you on this webinar. But the only thing you maybe should consider is actually listening to the people literally knowing what investments are, what social media are, and maybe a little bit about what finance and money are. We have Tim Draper, one of my personal absolute favorites. Tim Draper is a venture capitalist, and he definitely knows and have a nose for actually spotting trends. He was an early investor in Tesla, Skype, and Hotmail. 3 different trends and he spotted them all. Obviously, he had more success in his back as well, but he was also the one buying 30,000 Bitcoins from US government in an auction, while everybody called him crazy and an idiot. He said like this: either Bitcoin is going to go to zero or it's going to go to millions. So keep that in mind as well. And the fact is, Tim Draper predicts that Bitcoin will have a value of $250,000 by 2022 or 2023. He has said this many times. And the last time he made a prediction, he spotted the prediction with an actually margin of 3 days. He said, when everybody called him an idiot, that within 3 years, Bitcoin will have a price of $10,000. As I said, he was right with 3 days of margin. Vences Casares, PayPal's board director, who is he? Do you think he maybe knows a lot about money and payment systems? I would assume he does. He says one Bitcoin will have a value of $1 million within 10 years. He said this 1 year ago. So 9 years and the clock is ticking. We have Jack Dorsey, the Twitter's co-founder and CEO. What I really didn't get, why are we talking about what Jack Dorsey actually says is, this is the following. Twitter have approximately a little bit more than 300 million users. Do you know what big data is? I think you do, because it's one of the most interesting asset classes today, and this is what Google does, Facebook does, the biggest social media companies in the world does. Do you think Jack Dorsey can tell his guys to press a button and see where the trends in the future are going? With all the data and the statistic he can get from all people's thoughts and all people's opinions on Twitter media, I would say he have a pretty clear idea where Bitcoin is going. This is just my opinion, but guys, this guy is buying Bitcoins every week and maxing out his weekly limit of what he's allowed to actually buy from his bank. So guys, I mean, we are having things happening right in front of us. It's there. It's not really a question anymore if it's going to happen. I talked to an extremely successful guy today that I met, I had a lunch with. And did you know what he said? We just came into Bitcoin, and he said like this: well, I mean, you must be bloody stupid if you don't think that Bitcoin will at least triple. And I didn't say anything. This was his opinion. And he don't even have Bitcoin. So are you with me? I mean, it is out there. It's right in front of us. So if we look at, okay, how can you get your hands on Bitcoins? Because this was the main question we had. We didn't have the safe environment. We didn't really know who to go to.
And not a nice presentation.
Exactly. We didn't have that. You know, we kind of like had to guess. But we did have many people actually asking about Bitcoin and how they could get involved. And we said, we don't know, but we will look it up. And, you know, you can either buy Bitcoins. Absolutely. You can hold Bitcoins. You can trade Bitcoins. Yeah, risky. I know that many of us tried. Very hard. And you can mine Bitcoins. And if you look at it, I mean, what is mining? And why is it interesting? Well, mining is, I'm going to try to explain this in a very, very easy way. I know that Max usually wants to explain it a little bit more deep, but luckily you guys have the logical perspective today from a guy that doesn't talk tech language. So the way I explain it, and I think the most logical actually explanation is, every single time I do a transaction of a part of a Bitcoin or 1 Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoins, or it doesn't matter how many Bitcoins, I pay a small little fee. Every single time anyone in the world make a Bitcoin transaction, they have to pay a small little fee. This fee goes to the mining computers that you see in this picture. These computers, what they are doing is that they are verifying all these transactions. And they have to verify this transaction every 10 minutes. So we can say that the computer that is verifying, you can say the last transaction that fits in this 10-minute block is being logged into the Bitcoin ledger. It's being logged. It's like a bank statement, but publicly known for everyone. So this computer, that the single computer that actually managed to do this, gets all the transaction fees, and we're talking a few thousand transaction fees right now, gets all the transaction fees, but this computer also get a reward. for doing this. And right now that is 12.5 completely new Bitcoins that have never been out on the market before. So right now that is a value of approximately $45,000, $50,000 every 10 minutes that a single computer gets. And the race with mining is, the more mining computers you have, the more likely it is for you to earn a lot of money. And that's where all of our luck comes in, actually, because you and me have the potential to be part of one of the 10th biggest mining pools in the world. And believe me when I say, they have millions of these computers running every single day, and you and me can actually have a part of this. So what we also have to remember, why is the big financial institutions getting interested in this industry? Why are all of them actually going into Bitcoin right now? Because they know that they want to be part of actually having the fees, all the transaction fees, buying and selling, they get fees. But did you know that one of the biggest financial institutions in the world, which his name is Fidelity, started to invest in mining 2015 already and still invest money in mining? Why? They want a percentage of all Bitcoin transaction taking place today and all future Bitcoin transaction happening tomorrow and the year after and the year after and the year after and the year after and so on. This is huge, guys. For the first time, we have the possibility to actually have a piece of the pie of every single transaction taking place by something that have the potential of becoming bigger than internet itself. This is huge. And you know, you can be in an environment here and actually come in here without any previous tech experience. I don't know what's happening right now. There it is. So you can come in here without any previous tech experience and be part of a community which keeps you and actually hold you in your hand and show you how you can get involved in a very safe and secure way. You know, the club that we are involved in is BitClub Network. They have mined over 85,000 Bitcoins and shared it to the members. You know, this is one of the absolute largest mining pool in the world, and everyone who joins gets a piece of all Bitcoins being mined daily. And the funny part here is, if you join today, you get part of all the already existing equipment, already mining Bitcoin. And you also get part of all the future equipment that is being bought tomorrow and the year after, and so on. So this is quite unique. They have over 40 mining facilities actually right now spread around the world and growing constantly, because we have a very interesting crowdfunding model where we can actually tell our friends and family, if we would like to actually tell them about what we're doing. If they want to, they can be part of it. And this is very interesting because let's say Max doesn't want to share this to anyone. He just want to come in and he just wants his daily share from the mining. But Max would be super happy if I'm actually talking to people out there, because I'm part of making sure that this pool is growing bigger and bigger and bigger, which means he will be part of a bigger and bigger cake. I think you get the point. I never saw that kind of dynamic in a business before, where everybody is actually beneficial. Everybody earns the same from the mining. It doesn't matter if you talk to someone else or not, but of course you get compensated if you want to talk to people. And you know, mining versus buying. I mean, why would you like to mine? Well, guys, you're gonna see soon a very, very, very interesting picture that Max is gonna show you. Because we understand people want to have maybe some clear idea what it can bring to them in the future and what will Bitcoin maybe be. And I just assume that if you think Bitcoin is interesting, I just assume that you will think Bitcoin mining is way more interesting. And the reason is, if you already read the text, you will probably understand where I'm about to come here. But let's say Tim Draper is right. Let's say Tim Draper knows exactly what's going to happen in the future, which he doesn't, but he has probably a pretty good idea where we're going. But let's say he's right. But let's say we draw down that number. Let's say $100,000 within a few years. Let's say one Bitcoin have $100,000 within a few years. Let's say you only have the ability to buy whatever amount of Bitcoin you can buy today. But if you see this long term, which you should, we ourselves see this as out of a 5+ years perspective. If you see this with that perspective, it's a big major difference if you have 2 times more Bitcoins or even 3 times more Bitcoins over a longer period of time. If the Bitcoin price goes up, I think everybody would agree. And this is mining. This is why mining is extremely interesting, and this is why the smartest, richest people in the world are getting it. So for us, I mean, why would you like to sit on many Bitcoins today? It doesn't make sense. But of course, you would probably like to do it over a longer time period, because then it really, really makes sense. So, and of course, yeah, you can buy, of course, but it's very volatile. It's an extremely emotional ride, guys. Because let's say you buy it today and tomorrow the price goes up 100%. Would you sell? Would you keep it? Well, you don't know today. You might say, oh, of course I will hold it for 5 years. Until you see this advertisement of this amazing car or this amazing apartment that you all your life have dreamt about, and now you have the ability to actually pay for the down payment. Would you sell? Would you keep? Well, the psychology of human beings is, I would say, if you put 100 people in front of yourself, not even one would still be there in 5 years. I promise you. Because the price goes up and down in a very hefty manner. And also there will be a lot of articles saying Bitcoin is not something, and there will be many articles saying Bitcoin is everything. So as I said, emotional. And the thing is with BitClub is that you can follow the daily mining. You can see 100% transparent that BitClub is real. You can go in and see their track record, and you can actually see how many Bitcoins are they mining today. How many Bitcoin are they mining? Did they mine tomorrow? How many Bitcoins did they mine 2 days ago? You know, you can see this. I would say that's a pretty big thing. So let's actually just go through here and show you this. This is a website that is called blockchain.info. It's probably, I would say, yeah, it's the biggest third-party webpage in the industry. And I'm just gonna change to English here. It's the biggest third-party player in the industry. And here you see one of the pieces of pie. You see many pieces here. You see unknown. That is probably many different pools that doesn't really declare who they are. You have BTC.com and pool, F2 pool, BTC.top. You know, the majority of all these pools are Chinese pools. And these pools doesn't make it possible for normal average people that without tech experience to actually be part of mining. You probably have to have an extreme amount of money. You have to have the right connections. But the problem is today you will not be able to find the data centers with the right electricity price. It's more or less impossible today. And which means it will be much harder for you to actually get a very good return on your mining. There is BitClub Network. The last 24 hours, I think we've been mining 2.6%. Sometimes it's 8%. Sometimes it's 5%. It goes up and down from day to day. But the average for BitClub Network lies around, I would say, probably around 6%. So what Max is pushing here now is pressing the last block. In here, we can actually go down and we can see that the reward was 12.5 Bitcoins to actually verify this block. The transaction fees that was involved in this block was 0.34 Bitcoins of all these transactions that took place. So here, right now, we actually went straight into BitClub Network's actually wallet. That's the wallet address that you see there. You have here, you see, totally received 85,976 Bitcoins in the mining for the last, I would say, approximately 4.5 years. Wow, I would say. Guys, that is huge. And if we go down, just press the green button so we get it in dollar. If we press here, you actually get this number in dollars. So that is $338 million that have been divided out to members. But the cool part is, this is the value of today's price. If the price goes up to 20,000, well, that value will be way over $1 billion that is actually being paid out to members. And hopefully, and the best thing about BitClub Network is that members here actually are educated in what Bitcoin is, so they know that they should keep their Bitcoins. And I feel so sorry for the people that doesn't. But of course, it's a personal choice, which is amazing as well, because you have the flexibility here. So how do you start mining? Well, this is a founder pool.
Sorry.
This is a founder pool. A founder pool consists of 3 different pools: a pool 1, pool 2, pool 3. And this is what we consider is a very good start. And what we have been doing as well, we have been putting together packages that Max soon will tell you about. But guys, pay attention now, because now you're going to see the most interesting picture you definitely have seen today. We're going to show you exactly what result a pool have actually generated in terms of what we said before. You know, if you see this out of a 5-year plus perspective, we expect we will get 2 to 3 times the amount of Bitcoins back that we had the possibility of buying back then. You know, the same thing is for you. If you see this today, maybe if you already are in, but when you really get it, guys, you would really consider, you know, maybe get involved in a different way. So take a look at this picture. It's extremely interesting, and you will love it. All of you guys that are involved in this business, you will definitely fall off your chair soon if you haven't seen this before. But it's really great. So I'll leave over to Max. He is, guys, if you haven't heard him before, he is great. He really knows what Bitcoin is. He's been doing probably more research than anyone on this call. He knows Bitcoin from a very, very technical perspective. We will not be technical today, but guys, there is so much knowledge here, and listen very carefully and take notes if needed as well. But now, listen to what I say is one of the most important things to really understand.
The most important slide we've had in the history of BitClub Network, I guess. Just to go back to this slide just a quick one. A founder pool that you can purchase for $3,500 gives you one of each pools, which will give you 1,000 days of minimum mining, and you will be able to mine Bitcoins with all of the 3 pools that BitClub Network is offering. So the founder pool literally gives you access to the entire pool, 7 shares, you can say. So this founder pool was purchased the 16th of October 2014 when the Bitcoin price was $380. So if you would spend $3,500, you could either buy 9.2 Bitcoins, or you could start to mine Bitcoin with BitClub Network with a founder pool for $3,500. Yeah, makes sense? And bear in mind that this screenshot here is taken at 21st of January 2017. So many people ask, like, why should I be a part of mining and not just buying Bitcoin? Well, I mean, both are good. We're not saying anything is bad. Everyone should be a part of the Bitcoin revolution, according to us. And it all depends on how long-term you see Bitcoin. But after Navid's presentation, I think all of you guys understand that long-term, the people that are really getting to know more about Bitcoin and starting to educate others will be the ones that will end up with the most Bitcoin, of course, the greatest value. If Bitcoin goes up to, let's say, $250,000, like Tim Draper believes, over the next 3 years, something like that, 3-4 years, well, it's a big difference between having 1 Bitcoin or having 2 Bitcoin or having 3 Bitcoins. I hope that makes sense. So basically, what you can do, and what happens if you want to buy would like to buy a founder pool with BitClub back in 2014, this would be the result. And basically, the money is being used to manufacture new equipment. New equipment is being hooked up in our total pool, and everyone that is a part of this global mining pool is getting daily payout from the actual result you can follow on blockchain.info. I mean, there is no fancy story. There is no beautiful people with Harvard degrees behind the club. But BitClub have become, according to UK Business Insider, one of the most influential mining pools in the world due to the network effect where we are today over 600,000 members sharing the actual earnings and constantly growing compared to these other pools. So sorry guys, if you look into this mining share, you can see the red arrow shows the actual result from a mining share that was created for $3,500, the 16th of October 2014. And this mining share, the screenshot is taken 21st of January 2017. So it's basically more of course, way more Bitcoins in this specific account right now. But the total earnings from a $3,500 investment has been 26.27 Bitcoin when this screenshot was taken. Paid, as you see below, earned means what has been actually what has been used to pay for partial mining shares to be able to extend the 1,000-day mining limit. So this account will continue to mine Bitcoin for years and years and years and years to come. And if you think about the compounding effect of actually being part of mining for 5+ years, that's what makes it interesting to be a part of this revolution, where we can not only accumulate coins ourselves, but we can help others to remove the entire emotional aspect of the volatility of Bitcoin. And why is Bitcoin so volatile? Guys, it's market cycles. You need to understand this. Bitcoin, such as derivatives, the Forex market, gold, whatever it might be, everything is going through market cycles. Nothing is stable if it's not a stable coin, as probably many of you guys have heard of. Anyway, so what we can do is help people to actually accumulate coins long term and remove that whole emotional aspect of be a part of a extremely volatile market due to the fact that too few people knows about Bitcoin. Understand, there is less than 1% of the world population that knows about Bitcoin. Less than 1%, and the value of Bitcoin today is like $60 billion. I mean, for me, it just doesn't make sense for people that say that I'm not interested in Bitcoin, I would never touch it. How can you not be interested in the greatest wealth transfer modern time have ever seen? And why are we not helping people to see this? So what else can I show you on this picture? A $3,500 pool, which, by the way, was created, as you can see, the 16th of October 2014. So read this text here once again, please, guys. People usually ask, what is the track record? Okay, so this founder pool was purchased 16th of October 2014 when the Bitcoin price was $380. Please check it up. So you could either buy 9.2 Bitcoin for $3,500, or you could spend the $3,500 on a founder pool, which gives you access to all of the 3 mines, and you will start to gain Bitcoins daily from the mining process. But also remember that mining is not static. Mining is going a lot up and a lot down, just like any market cycle, just like the price of Bitcoin. However, long term, we will be able to accumulate more coins. So bear in mind that this screenshot was taken 21st of January 2017, and the difference in this case would be, if you would have just bought Bitcoin, you would get 9.2 Bitcoin, and if you would still hold on to them today, you would have a great value, of course. But if you would be a part of mining instead, only this account, from not doing anything, have made over 26 Bitcoin in mining earnings, which is pretty amazing. This is what many people would like to see. So I requested some screenshots from some of the mining shares that was created from more or less day one. And I can tell you, if I would show you the screenshot from today, you would not even believe me. I mean, it's just incredible. However, the time that we still got time, we have a window of opportunity for at least 5 years, as we see it, to really be a part of accumulating coins and take part of it right now. In 5 years, I mean, most of our friends, family, and associates will definitely not be able to even hold 0.5 Bitcoin. There is no Bitcoin in the world for all millionaires to own one each. So realize the fact that you are listening to this when the price was below $100,000, which made you an early adopter. So by saying this, there is a possibility to, of course, purchase multiple founder pools as well, such as we did ourselves. And if you buy 3 founder pool, for example, you will get a $550 Bitcoin commission back. So you actually get rewarded by referring yourself. And you can see the crowdfunding model in the same way as for example, Adidas or Nike. If you refer a friend, you get 50% of buying a pair of shoes. And it's the same way here. The marketing method that has been used to growing BitClub into a $1 billion turnover, and today have over $500 million worth of mining equipment, mining Bitcoins for all of us. 100% of the coins is being shared with the members. The reason why we have been able to do that for the past 5 years is because word by mouth and the marketing method that has been used. So we have not been in media, even though Business Insider has been writing about us. Cointelegraph is writing very positive about BitClub. CoinDesk is writing very positive about BitClub. But we have not used mainstream media to advertise our mining share structure. But basically the word by mouth has been growing the entire pool. And this gives us a huge opportunity that has been involved with network marketing, where we can actually help people, no matter if they want to get involved in telling other people or not, to accumulate Bitcoins long term. And if they want to tell other people, fine, they will get paid in Bitcoin for doing so, in commission. If they don't, that's fine as well. We'll talk about this very soon. So if you buy 5 founder pool, for example, and refer yourself, you refer yourself in purchasing multiple founder pools, you will get $1,100 worth of Bitcoin back. So we just want to show you that there is a possibility to actually own more than one account, because BitClub do not care about who you are. If you want to be a part of contributing with hash power to the pool, they're more than happy to allow you to have as many mining shares as possible. And the goal is after talking to the founders of BitClub, or what they, and not the goal, I would say what they see, at least this year, is that BitClub will become the 4th or maybe 5th, but let's say 4th largest mining operation in the world in terms of hash rate, due to the growing network. So one slide I would like to talk specifically about is why now. We are in a perfect position to join this market cycle, okay? To the left, you see the Wall Street cheat sheet called Psychology of Market Cycles. And all asset classes in the world is going through market cycles. Derivative, the Forex market, gold, like I said before, oil, whatever it is. All assets that is combined with value goes through market cycles. So what can we tell from this Wall Street cheat sheet that they're actually using? Not for Bitcoin itself. This is a general cheat sheet. And what you can see to the right is, of course, the Bitcoin price ranging from the 2017 before the bull run until right now, so March 2019. And you can see that I hate to say that Wall Street is right, but in this case they actually are. In the end of 2017, when all of your friends on Facebook became Bitcoin experts, when the taxi driver started to talk about Bitcoin, when your friend that bought $10 worth of Bitcoin thought he was going to buy a Lambo the day after, you saw the euphoria in terms of the market cycle. You can see the green spike there, yeah? I don't have the annotation on, but you can see the green spike entering euphoria. After euphoria, what happens? Well, in any market cycle out there, you'll see the price drop. You'll see the value of that specific, let's say, asset go down. And where we are right now, I would say, is compared to the Wall Street cheat sheet psychology market cycle, we are in the depression mode. We are just trying to break out of this depression. And if you look historically at this specific graph to the left, you can apply it on like 4 or 5 different time periods in Bitcoin history. But it has never looked better. It has never been clearer for us than the last bull market that we saw in the end of 2017.
It's a perfect timing.
People don't understand this. People used to people tend to not pay attention to Bitcoin when the price is low. People tend to don't give a shit about Bitcoin when nobody talks about Bitcoin. But understand that this is the time when you should position yourself and really be a part of what is about to happen. We're in a phase right now, I would say, disbelief. And you can see disbelief on the left graph, both on the left side and on the right side, because this is just a repeated market cycle. And this is where we are right now. And I think you can see this pretty clear yourself as well. We are just about to break disbelief. What happens when the Bitcoin price will break through disbelief? We will see hope. There will be some kind of optimism. Then people will get very thrilled about what is happening, and maybe there will be some, you know,
euphoria again.
And
we all dance together.
Yeah. So understand where we are right now and be excited over it. See it as an opportunity instead of staying in this depressing bloodbath that has been for the last couple of months. Because if you act like 99% of the people, you would still be there. But if you are one of the few of us that really understand what these market cycles are doing with Bitcoin, just like any other assets out there, this is the perfect time to get involved. So one thing that is very interesting, one thing that is very important to touch on is when we're talking about there is only 21 million Bitcoins in the world that can be created. So the creator of Bitcoin, a Japanese named Satoshi Nakamoto, no one knows who this person, group of people or company is, decided that about every 4 years, there are going to, or every 210,000 blocks, which is approximately every 4 years. Every 210,000 blocks that have been mined, the block reward is being halved. So you can see the Genesis block on the left to this graph when Bitcoin was created. We could mine 50 new Bitcoins every 10 minutes in every block that was mined. 210,000 blocks after that, which you can see the first halving, we could mine 25 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. Now we're in a period where we can mine 12.5 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. And in the middle of next year, which is 4 years after, is May 2020, we will only be able to create 6.25 Bitcoin every 10 minutes globally. And this means that all of the 21 million Bitcoins will be generated year 2140, which leaves us with 121 days left. So if Google or Facebook haven't come up with some kind of life pill for us to get become immortal, I don't think we will ever see all of the Bitcoins in the world be created. However, we will be able to take part of the time in history which people will talk about for decades, where the price was below $100,000 and we took it seriously. So what can we tell from this halving of block reward of mining Bitcoin every 10 minutes? Parallel to this, you can see the log scale in terms of the price of Bitcoin. And every time in history there has been a block reward halving, the price of Bitcoin has been increasing dramatically. Why? Because suddenly Bitcoin is becoming more scarce over time, which means that less and less Bitcoin will be released to miners. And this means that for miners to really have a great incentive of mining Bitcoins, they want the Bitcoin to climb in value. I'm not saying miners are manipulating the price of Bitcoin, but when there's lesser and lesser and lesser Bitcoin that can be created, well, there's just a limited supply and the demand is increasing, the interest of Bitcoin is increasing. Remember that there's less than 1% of the world population that knows about Bitcoin. What happens when this number increases to 2, 3, 4, 5% of the world population only? I mean, this is what we're talking about. So if you just look at the Bitcoin price log scale according to Business Insider Pro, according to this log scale, logically, fundamentally, the price should be around $100,000 within the next 24 months. I'm not stating that. I have a very strong belief it will happen, but if we would have crystal balls, we would be billionaire by now. We have seen Bitcoin from just a few dollars to $1,200 to $10,000, and people are still calling us crazy for being involved with Bitcoin.
By the way, I love this graph.
Yeah. So the Crypto Group, our team, is a community of people educating others in how they can be a part of accumulating Bitcoin. And you can be a part of accumulating Bitcoin. You can help others to get involved and accumulate Bitcoin. So what BitClub Network has created is a cutting edge, I would say, crowdfunding model where you and I can be a part of not only making Bitcoin through the mining process 100% passive, but also make a life-changing amount of Bitcoin by helping others to get involved and help them to accumulate Bitcoins long-term. If they want to tell others, that's awesome. If they want to mine Bitcoin because they want to accumulate Bitcoins long-term, that's awesome as well. No one is obliged to do anything. However, if we're talking about the life-changing amount of Bitcoin, this is something that it's up to you. You need to decide what a life-changing amount of Bitcoin means to you. We still have the possibility to make hundreds of Bitcoin, to make even right now, I believe we have the possibility to make 1,000 plus Bitcoin, but we don't have much time left if this is our incentive. And how can we do that? Educate others, educate yourself, help people to see what you've seen, the vision of Bitcoin, what will happen over the next couple of years. Why wouldn't you tell others? So in an ocean, I would say, of scams out there in terms of Bitcoin, in an ocean of cryptocurrency opportunities only involving a story and not any fundamental facts with transparency, BitClub is the only true and transparent opportunity which has proven itself for the past 5 years. And even Business Insider guys say that we are one of the top influential mining pools in the world due to our, of course, growing network of people in over 150 plus countries, 600,000 members today. And every time you share this opportunity with others, you will make a commission in Bitcoin, which is completely up to you what you would like to do with. So you can first of all be a part of mining, and then you can decide to get involved. And why is this opportunity so interesting then? First of all, like we talked about right now, you have a possibility to actually make a life-changing amount of Bitcoins. Number two, there is no other opportunity that is competing with BitClub. We have no competitors. Sure, there are a lot of other cryptocurrencies out there saying that they're doing something, but there is no transparency. People are just continuously losing money, putting money into those different schemes. I mean, if you are a part of something that is slow and steady instead of something that is paying out 10% a day that they guarantee, well, I can promise you, you will end up with more value in the next 5-10 years. And why is this industry so interesting? Well, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what education you have. It doesn't matter how much money you've made before or what kind of education level you have in terms of Bitcoin. What matters in terms of network marketing in this industry is basically just a few key things that we will share on our webinar day after tomorrow in how to get started. So this industry is so interesting because you can literally choose your entire working situation yourself, and there is no income cap. You can choose who you want to work with. Number one, you can choose how much you would like to earn because there is no such thing as income cap. And this is why you would like to earn Bitcoin when the price of Bitcoin is low, because that's when you can accumulate the most coins. And I can tell you, you will look back in the next 3 years and regret that you didn't work harder and educated others when the price was below $50,000. That's what you will regret over the next 3 years. So this is basically, I would say, we've been going through everything today.
Absolutely, I would say so as well. And guys, we have some amazing things coming up as well. Some of you know that we are arranging an event here in Marbella the 27th of April and 26th as well, actually, for the people that buying VIP Plus. We are actually replanning the event to do something really, really surprising for all of you that is attending. and you will not regret to be here. It will be very special. It will be very unique, and we are working very hard to make it an unforgettable experience. So guys, if you haven't bought him, you should do it, because now we actually set a very low limit to how many people we can actually have attending, because the reason why is we want to have quality people attending. We want to have the people that is actually acting like this and not thinking about doing it 2 days before the event. If you're serious, you buy it today. If you're not, you will not, which is fine. And we will there, of course, go through the basic principles of the market that we have right now, where we're going, and you have the possibility to listen to a Bitcoin billionaire. I don't know what could be more exciting than that. But this guy, of course, brings a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge into that, opportunity for you guys to actually come and listen. So if you're not involved, maybe you should consider to get involved. You should definitely get in contact with whoever have invited you over to this webinar. And you will also see me and Max travel way more together from now on. We have been setting a new schedule, new way of working together. We are going back to basics. You guys will see a completely different working methods from our side. You will see a completely different energy, because we understand that we have a limited amount of time actually passing by. Every single day that we don't do enough will not be a day that comes back. And like Max says, for me, it's about creating a life-changing amount. I don't know about you guys, but you can create generational wealth probably for the first time in your entire lifetime. What's not to understand with that? What's not to actually take advantage of when we're talking about that? It's just about doing it today, sharing the word. And you know what? The more people you talk to today, you will be all of their Bitcoin ambassador. And when they are ready, they will come to you, no one else. If you leave them with nice words and respect if they don't get it today. Don't make people feel like they're idiots, because they're not. They're maybe just not ready. So have respect for people and just go out there, have fun, and talk to anyone you meet, because we have one of the most interesting products in the world. You will see that Bitcoin will go into the ghetto of the ghetto, into the darkest alley in the world. And what I mean with that is the same principle of a Coca-Cola. If you go to the ghetto of the ghetto, in the darkest alley, you will find a Coca-Cola can. This is how big Bitcoin will be, and Bitcoin will be much bigger than Coca-Cola. It will be bigger than the internet, and it will be the biggest and best thing, I think, that you have been a part of. But it's up to you. You take the information, reevaluate the information, and make sure that you feel comfortable with whatever you're going to choose to do. So it's up to you, which is the greatest thing about Bitcoin, because it's no one's, it's everyone's. And it's up to you what you choose to do with it. That's the amazing part. Guys, I don't know if you have anything else, but thank you so much, guys, for this evening. Looking forward to run into you guys whenever we come to your city. And buckle up, because the ride is about to begin. Cheers.
See you guys in Marbella.